My next guests have been two of my favorites for a long, long time, as children and as grown-ups. Hunts Hall and Gabe Dell, two of the Bowery boys, dead-end kids, East Side kids. They're in for an important anniversary. We welcome Hunts Hall and Gabe Dell. Hunts Hall.
The Angel and Dirty Faces were actually the Dead End Kids, and it was a troupe of kid actors that did stage plays together. And then I think this may have been one of their early films, if not necessarily their first, not sure. But I do know they made a handful of films at Warner Brothers, and they stayed together. I think the name of the group changed in time. Little Tough Guys, East Side Kids, the Bowery Boys. The Bowery Boys are what I know them for, but I think their original name was the Dead End Kids. Two of their films are going to be on this list. This is one of them. And I'm not a huge fan of theirs because their shtick is kind of like very repetitive. It's like, okay, this is the bad guy in the group. This is the good guy. This is the guy that's going to turn on everyone. This is the guy with the heart. And they kind of just replay their roles in each movie they're in. But they're a central part of the film. But this film is all about Cagney, his energy, and I thought this is one of his better films.
Yes, I agree. It's another film that I saw when I was very young, and again made a huge impression on me. So it's always been very special, and I find it very moving to this day. You know, like watching it again just a few days ago, I found it very moving. I think it really works.
Mm-hmm. And it has a lot of you look at like if anyone's hasn't seen it, they're gonna watch it for the first time. You can be like, man, this is so cliched. But the reason you're gonna think it's cliched is because this film has been studied and emulated by other filmmakers and other studios and writers. Because a lot of the things that are seminal parts of crime movies in general, not just gangster films, came from this. You have the two young kids who are both knuckleheads, and they got caught for a crime and they run off.
Come on, Rocky, jump!
One gets caught and goes to jail. One stays on the outside. Then they meet up. One's good and one's bad, and then it's their relationship from there. How many crime movies have you seen that had that in there? We have him trapped here. Then he sees them in the back of like a reflection. He knows he's being followed.
No, it's all right. What's the difference? I've seen everything.
He tricks them into killing their own partner, and then he escapes. There's just a lot of stuff like that in this film where it's just like, man, like any one of these tropes could be the basis or the major plot of another film.
It's my rap and I'll take it. But it's my 100 grand, I'll take that too the day I get out.
The gangster that gets betrayed by his partner. Okay, I'll do the time. You keep the money, and when I come out, we'll be partners. And then inevitably, the guy who stays on the outside betrays the guy who went to jail. Then it's kind of a revenge story, and that's kind of the dynamic with him and Bogart.
Rocky, no, I'll do anything. No, you won't.
And I think that's the dynamic with both of their gangster films. Is like Bogart is the one that betrays Cagney, and then Cagney comes out for revenge and stuff like that. So, but yeah, those just a few of the ones at the top of my head. But when you watch this film and you've seen a lot of crime movies, you're gonna be like, oh, I recognize that. Oh, I recognize this, and you're gonna see a lot of that in this film, which is again, it's very of all the films on this list. Even if you don't think it's the best, it's the one that's aged the best probably, because all of these plot points can be in modern movies, where some of these other older films, the plot points can feel kind of dated. But yeah, great movie.
Yeah, I agree. Really like it. And like I said,
and you also have the famous ending too, where it's like, was he really a coward or did he pretend to be a coward? You know, where he finally gets killed and his childhood buddy says, hey, like, I want you to let's speak about his childhood buddy. So they made a lot of films together. O'Brien,
they did.
Was Edward O'Brien, I think is his name, or
is it Pat O'Brien?
Pat O'Brien, Edward O'Brien.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Pat O'Brien.
Yeah.
They made a lot of films together. They were real life friends. What an asshole. sure, he's like the good guy in this film, but he keeps asking him favors. He's like, listen,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the cops on you, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to bring you down and bring you to jail and get you behind bars. And James Cagney's like, sure, no problem, buddy. It's like, what? And then like at every turn when they're trying to like kill him, like Cagney is there to like save his life behind the behind his back and not even asking anything of him, and he's like, listen, I know you're about to die and the only thing you have left is your legacy, and I want you to kill that legacy. I want you to die a coward. I want everyone to despise you. Can you please do me that favor? It's just like, fuck, dude, like, how much are you gonna keep asking of this guy?
I don't want to die, oh, please. I don't want to die, oh, please.
I think it is a very moving story, and you're right. It's probably been copied a million times, and but that doesn't matter. It still works on some level. It just works, and I think in a way it's got a political message, I suppose, or a social message, or whatever we want to call it, about what is the difference between this criminal and this guy who's a priest. It's just that one of them could run faster than the other, right? It's like he got away, so he didn't go to reform school. He didn't learn all the bad habits. He didn't make all the bad connections. And the guy who went to reform school or jail eventually, he got corrupted by that. He became a bad guy, if we want to call it that. So I think it's a message that's still relevant today, and I think a lot of people don't understand that, that there's very little difference in a way between, what happens to you or I or anyone. It's a lot of luck and timing, and I think this movie does a good job of showing that.
Asking questions again, huh?